Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hog Talk Podcast, live from the Sterling Soap and Roastery Studios, part of the Believe and Buzz Radio Network, where you can hear us each week on 106.7 Buzz 2 in Central Arkansas. I'm Porter Hayes, and alongside me, as always, is Adam Hall. And on tonight's show, we're going to recap SEC Media Days, talk a little LeBron going to Philly, and some other Razorback news going into football season. But Adam, we're shocked with this upgrade. I don't know what happened. A light flicker, wave rule connect. I don't know what's going on, but we look a lot cleaner. I had to go put some makeup on. Now, honestly, I know the crap that John Neighbors gets because everybody talks about him wearing makeup, and this is 8K. This is crazy.
Shout out to StreamYard for whatever y'all did, because it's appreciated. But at the same time, we're going to be more self-conscious of all this stuff.
I can't just walk up the steps and put anything. I got to really look at my wardrobe now. So
our hair has to be done, no blemishes, all that stuff. But shout out to StreamYard for flipping whatever switch to get this done. But no, I mean, we had the SEC Media Days, and it was one of those that, like, I enjoyed hearing all the coaches speak, because yes, everything was coach speak, but it's kind of funny at the same time, because even when Lane Kiffin was up there, he is more known for what he puts out on Twitter than what he says behind a podium. So I think everybody was waiting for something with him, and it didn't come, and that was fine. And then at the same time, other guys that came up, they talked about Ryan Silverfield and being the new coach at Arkansas and blah, 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 past seasons, whatever happened. We got a lot of coach speak there, but at the same time, there was a lot of the whole, hey, he's new, we're this, we're that, he's this, they're that, and we'll see him in September, October, November, whatever, whenever we play him. There was just a lot of coach speak from that standpoint. Yes. And I understand that's what SEC Media Days are for, but at the same time, I'm glad it's done with.
Yeah. I think if we're going to critique it, everybody has. But the one critique I have, and I really wasn't thinking about that until earlier when I can't remember the Brenham guy, he interviewed the GM, and every question, the response was, "Hey, that's a great question. Hey, that's so you could tell that the PR spot of, hey, that's a great question. He started off, you could tell he was nervous, of course, his first one. But once he got himself going outside of the great question, then he went into how he wanted to roll with it. And I really think he handled himself well. He did. Now, I mean, the whole 5-1 comment, that was great. It made for a great bit. It made for a great your viral moment. So I mean, I'm glad, because you know what, you want him coming in with a fire, because guess what, it's better than I don't know. It's a lot better than I don't know.
Definitely.
So if that's all we've got to say is critiquing him of, hey, that's a great question, I'll take it, because you know what, I'm not saying he got an A+. I said because of PTSD he deserves a solid B, but there's a lot of people that were there, that were listening to him. He deserved an A, and I can't argue with that. I'm not going to say that he didn't deserve an A for his efforts there when it come to, but some of the questions that they were getting asked, the older guy, when I was watching the players, same questions of, your personal goals opposed to team goals. And I know when you go to SEC Media Days, look, they haven't really done any kind of summer camp yet. So especially with Ryan Silverfield, new coach, and transfer players coming in, there's only so many things you can really ask. So kudos to Ryan Silverfield, kudos to the players. I mean, now it's like, okay, that's done. Now we're getting ready for summer camp, fall camp, whichever one you want to call it. It gets you excited for the season, but then you kind of go back, you got to bring yourself back down to reality of, okay, that was exciting, but now there's already people saying 6 wins. There's already people saying they're going to be bowl eligible. I'm not there yet. I don't see them winning 3 to 4 conference games. And I just don't see it.
I think you and I are both on that same boat of just, we won't project or predict all those wins. We're going to take things game by game. But I will say that after listening to Coach Silverfield, I mean, at media days and whatnot, not hearing the I don't know or
Yes.
no, like that was so refreshing in a sense. Do I think he has all the answers right now? No, I don't. Do I think that we're going to get 6 or 7 wins this next season? No, I don't. But at the same time, I'm more confident in what he is doing and how he responds than I am previously. So
Yes.
I'm still going to take things game by game, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and talk down on him or this team until they step on the field. And like we've talked about before, hey, if you come out and win, you're 1-0, you're then 1-1, or you're one, whatever the record shows. We're going to take things game by game. I'm not going to sit here and battle or sit here and critique y'all and thinking like, hey, you should be a 7-1 team. You should be like, I'm going to go game by game. And I think you and I both will do that. And it's just refreshing though to not hear I don't know all the time.
Yes, because the thing is with the team, there's just so many.
Yeah.
If you had Taylor Green back, if you had a quarterback that you were confident in getting you some wins, maybe I could see 5. But we've seen what this team can do with a top 5 offense, but there's so many questions on defense. Where did they improve on defense to where you're going to get these 6 wins? That's my biggest question. And to be honest, that was the one thing we didn't hear hardly anything about when it come to SEC media days. You know, you had Sutton Smith, you had your quarterback, you know, talking about the quarterback battle, or which I don't believe there's even a quarterback battle.
There's not
I think
one.
it's,
I mean, yeah.
You know, I've talked to a couple of people on the inside. There's no quarterback battle. And I don't know if they're just trying to roll with that or give something to talk about, but I'm very confident, you know, we're seeing KJ. And you know, it's one of those things where you don't want a quarterback battle. There was somebody, you know, out there talking about a 2 quarterback system, and it could, you do not want to do that.
No.
They've tried that so many times with people way more skilled than the quarterbacks we have on campus, and it did not work out. So you want to stay away from that.
It's something too. I mean, like Sutton Smith coming out talking about, like, you know, getting to wear the number 5, which I'm kind of like, that's tough for me, just for the sense that, like, I'm not doubting Sutton Smith and his abilities, but to come in and get to wear number 5 your first year on this team,
that's
that
tough.
You have a big standard to, I mean, even looking back at like Cam Ball and whatnot, like you have a standard that is now set ahead, and you're coming in and you're cool with that, which if you have that swagger, go for it. If you have that ability, go for it. But you have such a legacy to live up to right now by putting on that number 5.
Yes, and there's going to be some, and especially when you put that on the patch, you know, you honored him, you know, and that's short of putting him on the Ring of Honor or whatever, put him on the stadium or retiring the jersey. Well, yeah, you have, but look at who else has wore that number 5 and didn't pay that Raheem Boyd, you know. So we need somebody to turn things around when it comes to that number 5, because that is, I mean, you look at number 5 and maybe number 9, if you want to go at synonymous numbers that stick out for with the state, you know, when it comes to, and of course, 77, of course, Brandon Burlsworth. But yeah, week 2, the Utah game is going to show a lot. That is going to show you where you're at. And it's a legit game. This is nothing where Utah is just going to come in and you're thinking that it's Georgia. I'm glad they're playing them week 2. It will give everybody a reality of where they're at. Because unless North Alabama sticks with Arkansas and hangs with them in the second half. Now listen, we might see a slow start to this team where North Alabama might score in the first quarter or keep it tight in the first quarter, even in the first half. And then Arkansas could blow the doors open. So don't jump to that conclusion.
We've seen with this team too.
In the first half.
I mean, we've seen with this team also. I mean, you playing UAPB and winning 70-0 or whatever it was, and then basically doing nothing afterward. So yes, you cannot take the first game to heart. That Utah game will be a true tell of where this team is at mentally and where Ryan Silverfield has them in those situations that, hey, you're on the road, you might be down, you might be up, whatever. And how has he prepared them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you did this 4-2, I mean, you'd have to go 4-2 in your first games. You'd have to start out 4-2. So where you're going to get the 4 wins out. So 2 wins. So you're going to have to grab a win either out of Utah, Georgia, A&M, Tennessee. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, your first 6 games. I mean, I don't. Maybe if you want to pick one of those games, Tennessee, because I mean we've had good luck with Tennessee, but I want to see what our defense does.
If Arkansas, this question right here by Andrew, if Arkansas goes into Utah and replicates that 2021 Arkansas-Texas game, yes, this season, like I will, at that point in time, no holds barred, I'm throwing it in, like I'm going all or nothing for this team if they do what they did in 2021.
Yes, yeah, if they go into Utah and win that game. Yeah. That is going to shut us up. It's going to shut a lot of people up because guess what? Now, you know, the next week they got to play Georgia and we're game by game. They could get blown out by Georgia. And I'm still going to be like, they beat Utah the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just where I am with that because you are going up against a Georgia team. I mean, it is 11 a.m. You're home, but the next 2-3 weeks you have Tulsa, A&M, and Tennessee. A&M and Tennessee, you don't know who they're going to beat. There's a lot of unknowns when it comes to Arkansas, but there's a lot of unknowns in the SEC. When I look at the SEC as a whole, the SEC is not what the SEC used to be.
No, it's not.
And so one of the things that Lane Kiffin said, he's talking about a 9-3 SEC team against I don't think that holds that much weight because let's see what teams you played. If Arkansas goes 9-3, oh yeah, that means a lot. But there's a lot of these teams when you look at if Arkansas, let's say Arkansas was Georgia, they're established, they're a good team, and then you've got Vandy, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, Utah. I mean, outside of your and I'll even go Tennessee and A&M. You go 9-3 with that schedule. It doesn't hold the weight of where Arkansas is now as a program because you're not running a gauntlet because you don't know what you're getting with A&M. They've fallen off. Tennessee's fallen off. Vandy, I've said it many, many times, post Pavia, we don't know what they're going to be like. But you also got that Missouri game, you got A&M, Missouri, those monkey off your back games that they're a thorn in your side. And so you have to, and I'll say this, if you do win the Utah game, you have to win the A&M game too. Because if you falter to Georgia and then you lose that A&M game, to me, honestly, because the SEC means a lot more than a non-conference game, that makes that Utah win a wash because you've got to prove that you're making success in that A&M game. If you lose that game, I just think that kind of takes some of the momentum away. So to answer, if you want my honest opinion, to the Utah game, could that be the 21 Texas game? Because there's a lot of people, and Ty Richardson brought this up, that A&M game was the most important game of that 21 season. You winning that A&M game. So if you win A&M on October 3rd in College Station, mind you, that would be your 21 game. In my opinion.
I think some of that goes back to you and I discussed this last season on pivotal games. And yes, obviously the Utah game could be like monumental, but no, I agree with you that if you look at after that, which there's no way in hell that I put Arkansas beating Georgia.
Yeah.
Which if it happens, it happens. But at the same time, that A&M game, there's games on this schedule that make way more sense of if Arkansas wins, like of it mattering more.
Yeah.
And you and I went through this last season on like what was going to be the game that would make or break, the season or this or that, or what would be the uptick, whatever. And I think that A&M game this season will be that.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, you could also go toss up. I mean, you got Tennessee at Fayetteville the very next week. If you can, but also let's talk about momentum. You got to take this momentum. If you win that Tennessee game and then you're like, okay, look at our next games, then you got the Missouri game. There's a lot of these. It's like hopscotch. You got an A&M game, then you could lose to Tennessee, or you could lose to A&M, beat Tennessee, have a very good game against Vanderbilt, and then just lay an egg against Missouri because that's, again, your thorn in your side. The next two games is Auburn and South Carolina. It's how you handle the momentum and if you get things rolling. But like I said to start off the show, a lot of this is going to go on your defense. A lot of this is going to go on your halftime adjustments and finishing games. If they can learn to do that and they prove us wrong, we could be eating a lot of crow at the end of the year. And I know there's people, it's a gamble. You're gambling saying Arkansas is going to win 6 games because you want to be that one guy that's at the end of the season, whether you believe it or not. You'd be like, see, I told you at the first of the season, Arkansas was going to make a bowl game.
We talked about it last season with football and even in basketball, making those halftime adjustments. So how can Ryan, and that's the thing too, is they weren't done under Sam Pittman. They weren't even done under Petrino.
Yeah.
So what can Ryan Silverfield do to make those adjustments? And that's what I think we all want to see. Again, I'm not sitting here saying you're going to win all these games, but how do you prepare this team to win those one possession games? What'd you do at halftime to adjust? Hey, you're up 13 points at halftime. What happened afterwards? How did you adjust it? So I look at a lot of those things that's where the critique comes in, I think.
Yes. And then you got to look, how's Tim Cransby and Ron Roberts going to work together? We heard the rumors about the downfall of last year's team between Bobby Petrino and T. Will. Are they going to be able to work together to where this is a cohesive unit and discipline? The penalties, the offsides, turnovers. We talked, me and Hutch talked about turnovers when we had Hutchinson on. And then this Thursday, we're going to have Courtney Mims on to talk about what her thoughts of SEC Media Days and her thoughts going into summer fall camp. So stay tuned for that. It'll be Thursday at 10, I believe, in AM. So we'll have more time on that or a lockdown time on that. But I honestly think the coaching staff is just as important as the roster when it comes to building this unit, because you're building a new program. You're building that. You're talking about a new culture. You're talking about all in. That's going to speak volumes on your coaching staff too, that Ryan Silverfield has trusted to bring in and coach this team.
Which, we talked to ad nauseum about the slogans and catchphrases and all in and this, that, the other. But, my biggest thing has, honestly, in my head, I'm thinking, what is defense going to do? Because you brought in 24 to 20 something.
Listen, 20 new guys on the team. Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
And you're bringing in a defensive coordinator that, in my opinion, was not that great at Florida, Auburn, etc. We're bringing back, who is it, Darren Wilson, I think? So we're running it back with our secondary coach. I just look at it and I'm just kind of like, how is this defense going to look? Because the previous defenses that he had weren't that. They were decent here and there, but then the more like there were other times that it was atrocious. And I'm just not sold on his 3 through 5 or whatever he runs.
Well, and another big thing, and guys, we're going to break down, coming weeks, we'll talk about the offense. The more we know about summer camp, we really get into this. We're talking to Hutchinson and Courtney and Kyle Sutherland, Hogbeat, talking about the people who are at practices and stuff. And we get more of an idea of what this team's going to be, but special teams is another one.
Yeah.
We have no idea what that's going to be. I mean, that might be one of the biggest question marks of the team, and that's saying a lot. With you don't know what your offense and defense is going to be like. You don't know how this coaching staff's going to be. There's just too many questions. Again, like we said, they could totally turn this thing around and surprise us, but there's just too many questions with other teams, and you're playing in the SEC that makes us just jump to a 6-win season. So
I think taking things game by game and not, which we'll put out our predictions of game by game, whatever, but actually going in and analysis going like, I think that'll be the better determination of how things are, is just going one game after another. And hey, this is a 1-0 team, a 2-0 team, whatever their record may be when we discuss it. I think too many people are going to get in their feels by projections they put, like, oh, this is a 5-6-7-1 team.
Yeah.
Just chill out. Just stop. Yep. Like, let's just go game by game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then that's the thing, the Utah game, of course, no matter what we're talking about, the state of the SEC is Big Ten better than the SEC, blah, blah, blah. Utah still sees that as this is an SEC team. They're still got the target on their back. It still means something if a team like Utah beats even a team like Arkansas, because they're attached to the SEC. They still want to hang their hat on that. So that's going to be a very important game. And Kane Archer's up there sitting there in the quarterback room. There's been chatter. Does he get in? Are they wanting to put that game out of reach so he gets in and throws a pass? I just hope he don't do like the other local and go for 300 yards.
I'm not taking a shot at Arkansas or whatever else, but if Utah is up 3 scores and it's the fourth quarter, you best believe Kane Archer is going to be in that game, just throwing it all over the field.
That, or he's coming in to do the victory formation too.
And if Arkansas gets to that point that, like, y'all allowed Utah to do that to you, so be it. That's on y'all. So I want to see it if Arkansas allows that to happen.
The good thing is, if you got a guy, you have your running back room that could be very vital. But who's going to be blocking in front of them? Who is going to open the holes up? Because you have to establish that run game in order to get the passing game. And there's a lot of things with KJ Jackson. How's he going to be in the pocket? How is he going to be? I mean, because we've seen Taylor Green struggles throwing on the run. We're going to need somebody that can step back in the pocket, be confident, and throw the ball. Because if you come out and you're a one-dimensional team, it don't matter. You're going to get locked down.
And that's, I think, been my biggest question with KJ Jackson is, we liked what we had seen from him previously, like in the pocket and whatnot. I still think he gets happy feet, which we thought the same thing about Jacoby Griswold whenever he was here. So I would just like to see KJ actually have more time to see how poised he actually can be. I hope for his sake that he is not doesn't get happy feet and just thinks run first. Because we've seen that happen before, especially with Taylor Green, and it does not end up well.
No.
So,
I mean, you start scrambling, and then again, you're not scrambling. You're taking a big circle around. You're going 7 yards back, and then if people catch up to you, that's 13-yard loss. And now you're facing 3rd and long, and you're behind the 8 ball. You got to establish the run. You got to be able to pass the ball. This team is just they could be the surprise team, because guess what? Everybody has them picked last. So there's nowhere but up to go when it comes to that. And the whole thing is they need to take that seriously, because you want that chip on your shoulder. You want to be that underdog. You want to be the one, and rightfully so, that they could sit there and say, nobody believed in us.
Yeah.
And there's going to be so many people. I believed them all along. No, there's very few people that have this team doing well this year. And even them, I even believe that that's where they truly stand. They're just wanting to be different.
Definitely. And I'm going to say this to the media members that actually got to go to SEC Media Days, to sit there and tell or ask Coach Silverfield, how do you feel basically being picked last? How do you this? How do you that? You're also the same people that were picking Sam Pittman to win 11 games this last season.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop with your sound bites. Let's stop with your you're not Sports Illustrated. Let's stop with your whatever else. That was a pretty crappy question to ask. And you and I both have been like on this. We're not trying to like be sunshine pumpers or whatever about this football team and all this stuff. And we were against what Hunter Yurchek had said and all this stuff. But to come out there at SEC Media Days and say, hey, you're picked to finish last. All these coaches think you're last. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Stop.
What are you going to say to
because
the doubters? You know,
because at the same time, you're turning around and writing articles about interviews and sound bites and whatever else just to get clickbait. What I just don't get it. Like, stop this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're fueling your own fire is
definitely
what it is. And that's what it was. And it hit, it landed, it did really well. But you also got to understand the downside of it. If you do fall on your face and you do go 2-10, that 5-1, where's that 5-1 going to be at the end of the season? So you got to be, you got it. Now you're underdog, but now you got to back it up. Yeah. Now you're going to go in there and be like, okay, they doubted us, keep doubting us. And we're going to, hey, all right. So now you got to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
You've moved up a tier. You've moved up a tier of where we thought you were going to be, because now you're throwing the challenge out there for us to keep doubting you. You're going to prove us wrong. Okay. So that's a preface set that I'm going into this season. You're going to prove us wrong. That's how I'm judging the season. Year one. And you said you're going to prove us wrong. So let's see you do it.
And I'm not trying to like compare this football team to like, let's say the past couple of years of Arkansas basketball. But we've had those players on the basketball team that are like, doubt me, and I'm going to go dunk on you.
Yeah.
And I feel like the football team has that in them. It's just, can you put it together to do that?
Yeah. But there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that have to come together. Again, it's a lot different in basketball than football, where you're playing both offense and defense. A guy can go off for 25 points. And look at Coach Cal when he was talking about Darius Acuff. I don't care if he plays defense. He's giving us 25, 27 a game. I don't care. Here, you're on defense, you got to play defense. It means nothing to this offense if you're scoring 45 a game. If your defense can't stay on the field, and your offense is, of course, you're going to put up 400 or 500 yards when you're on the field 75% of the game. You know, it's just the way it's going to be. A lot, though.
It'll be an interesting season. Yes. I'm ready for it, though.
But it gave us a promise. Here's the thing. He didn't totally flop. He didn't come out of that, and everybody's like, okay, here we go. It wasn't complete BS. It wasn't 100% coach speak. I mean, he did really good. He got me to really look differently at the season, but yet it issued a challenge of, he didn't say he wants to prove people wrong. He is going to prove people wrong. And I want that. We want that. We want to talk about a Utah win. We want to talk about A&M, Tennessee. Finally, year one, you beat Missouri. That would be one of the biggest wins of the season from a program standpoint, because there's been so many times where that Missouri game, you had a little bit of momentum, but they're playing at the end of the year. They're not so much now. How does that help? That's not the game that you're trying to get bowl eligible, and Drinkowitz pulls one over on you.
Well, and that's where like my thing with Coach Silverfield, which I totally wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying, was him in that opening press conference on, we're going to win now. We're going to do this now. We're going to do this. So that's where I started looking at it. Like, you said now, so I'm going to start judging you on that. So as we're going into the season, can you beat A&M? Can you beat LSU? Can you beat Mizzou? Like, these big pivotal games that have been a thorn in our side, especially with A&M and Mizzou, can you knock these teams off?
Yeah. And that's the thing you look at, and the biggest question marks, you're looking at October. That is going to be the most important month of this season, because we're going to know more about A&M, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri. We're going to know a lot about them. So when it comes to yes, we kind of know what Arkansas is going to do, but we're going to also know what these other teams are like. Is A&M back to a juggernaut? Are they back to a top tier SEC team? What's Tennessee doing? I mean, what are they? Where's their program at? Vanderbilt, a big question mark. Then you've got the two down there right after the Missouri game, Auburn, South Carolina. You get South Carolina November 14th. What if, Shane Beamer's already on the hot seat? What if they falter? What if he's on his way out and you pick up that win because, South Carolina just cashed out. They're done. And then, of course, you got Texas and LSU to round out the season, which, dude, November 28th, you get LSU in Fayetteville. I don't care if it is an 11A game.
I mean,
you got that game at the end of the season. That's where it should be. That should be the game at the end of the year. And that's exciting for the future of the Razorbacks. If Ryan Silverfield can build this program, you want that LSU game the way it was when Houston Nutt was here.
Mm-hmm. We talked about it before too, like with when Arkansas, let's say, because we talked about this in basketball a little bit, but your back's against the wall. You don't have anything to go. How fulfilling would it be? You've had a whatever season to go in and keep LSU from the college playoff or whatever. I mean, to just sit there and end whatever misery. I mean, that's so fitting for this Arkansas team to have that opportunity for that.
I would love it. I would love it because they're the most arrogant fan base in the SEC right now, but they're starting to backtrack. I love it. They're already backtracking off of all the crap that they've talked about when Lane first announced and all that stuff between Ole Miss and LSU.
Yeah.
They were coming in fire. We're going to win national championships. And a lot of people saying year one, we're making the college football playoff. We're not really seeing or hearing much of that now. And I'm telling you, if Arkansas beats LSU, guys listening, we're not saying they are. Please don't take this as we're saying they are.
Definitely.
I'm saying if they do, it is going to be the most hilarious win because you're bringing in Lake Kiffin. You brought in Ed O. You spent $40 million on your roster. You're spending all this money, and you get beat by a rookie SEC coach at the last game of the season. And I think that's going to – I want that win more than any of them is that LSU game at the end of the year.
Ryan Silverfield, I will say this, and usually when it comes to like coach speak and this, that, and the other, I don't like a lot of it. But point blank period, him coming out and saying like basically who he's beat. I beat these other coaches whenever I was at Memphis. I did this, I did that. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Get your swagger. Let them know that you beat them before. Because at the same time, that's going to help you take this team to be able to beat those guys again. So I'm all for that. And again, I'm not jumping on this whole like Kool-Aid drinking hype train or whatever, but at the same time, do what you have to do. And for the fact that you've beat all these coaches before, take that, tell your team, let them know, show them the videotapes of how you beat these coaches.
Nobody believes us.
That
Nobody
even
believes
more.
us. Yep.
Yes.
Take our what we've said in the past, plaster it. Hey, we'll be your we've been there before. We'll be your sacrificial lamb, because we want to, whatever it takes to motivate the team and turn this program around, because end of the day, we want to be bowl eligible. We want to build this program. And because the Texas game, that they've done that before, they've proved that. And I'm not saying they will again. And yes, Arch Manning's there and they're a really good team, but for them to win that LSU game, it will go back to it was the Bielema years where they ran across the field and grabbed the trophy and yanked it and brought it home. I think that would be, and if you were to win that, and that was the game that got you bowl eligible, you get to be that LSU team that says, thanks, we're the ones that made Arkansas great again. We brought Arkansas back because I'm sorry, 6 games. Arkansas wins 6 games this year. They're bowl eligible. They're back. I'm sorry. I'll say it because where you've been the last 4 or 5 years and year one, you're earning your stripes and you're earning it, and you get to be bowl eligible after beating LSU.
Yeah.
That's the fire we need that then goes into your most freaking talented basketball roster you've ever had. Think about the craziness.
Obviously, I would love that wholeheartedly. Do I think it'll happen? No, but at the same time, like I will go. What was the movie with Will Ferrell and we're going streaking whenever he was
or old school.
Old school. Okay, yeah. Old school. I mean, we're going old school, running up the street. Like if Arkansas gets to 6 wins and go bowling, yeah, you best believe we're going to be running down the street.
Yeah,
wholeheartedly. Not gonna. I mean, no question about it.
What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. After the break, we'll talk a little bit of basketball. You know, the roster that keeps on building and keeps on growing, and then we'll talk some NBA. Of course, you can't not talk about LeBron James going to Philadelphia, the most surprising team out of that. But we're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back and we'll discuss that to wrap up the show. We'll be right back.
Searching for premium brewery products that will take your daily routine to the next level? Look no further than Sterling Soap Company. Our handmade soaps, aftershaves, and balms are made with only the finest ingredients that give you the ultimate grooming experience. With a variety of scents to choose from, there's something for everyone. Plus, our products are crafted in small batches to ensure the highest level of quality. So why wait? Visit www.sterlingsoap.com or visit our retail store at 16 West Walnut Street in Paris, Arkansas. Shop our collection and discover the difference for yourself. Upgrade your grooming routine with Sterling Soap Company. Are you looking for a place to grab a cold drink and some delicious food? Look no further than Arkansas Brewing Company. Located at 201 South 1st Street in beautiful downtown Ozark, our establishment offers a wide selection of craft beers and tasty eats. But what sets us apart is our welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. At Arkansas Brewing Company, you'll always feel like part of the family. So visit Destiny and Christopher Brockett and staff today and see for yourself what makes us the go-to spot for locals and visitors alike. Arkansas Brewing Company, come for the drinks and stay for the friends. Attention DIYers and home improvement enthusiasts. Are you searching for the right tools and the supplies to tackle your next project? Look no further than Mentor's Hardware Store. With locations in Ozark, Alma, and Clarksville, our vast selection of hardware and building materials is sure to have everything you need, whether you're fixing a leaky faucet or building a new deck. Plus, our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to offer expert advice and guidance. And with our competitive prices and convenient online ordering, Mentor's Hardware Store is your one-stop shop for all your DIY needs. Visit us today and let's build something amazing together.
Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than ATU Ozark Campus. As a 2-year satellite campus of Arkansas Tech University, we're dedicated to a quality workforce education, industry partnerships for in-demand jobs, and tailored paths for success. Our programs are led by industry professionals. Whether it's a certificate or you're aiming for a graduate degree, ATU Ozark has you covered. Visit our website at www.atu.edu/Ozark or contact us at 479-667-2117. Your future begins here. Welcome to Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce, where our mission is simple: encourage, promote, and aid an enduring environment of shared economic opportunity and civic development for the Ozark, Arkansas area. Whether you're a local business owner or a resident, we've got something for you. Shop our unique local businesses, explore the beauty of Ozark, and savor local flavors and find cozy accommodations. Join us in building a stronger community. And to learn more, contact us at 479-667-2525. Remember, together we thrive. And welcome back to the Hog Talk podcast. Adam, it seems like we cannot go another week without something getting added, somebody reclassifying and joining the Razorback basketball team. And as much as we're excited, we're getting this newfound excitement for the football team. There's basketball right there behind them. And I'm telling you, the squad that Coach Cal is putting together, how is he going to find a way? The biggest challenge is, how's he going to find a way to get all this talent on the court and find that cohesive five and then rotate in and out? And I mean, that might be the biggest problem of the year, is trying to get everybody playing time and get everybody together.
So I think that, and which obviously nobody has any idea what Coach Cal's going to do, but I think a lot of people were, with this recruiting class, they knew like, oh, Cal's only going to play 7 or 8 guys. And you already had that. And then now you added these 2 new reclasses. And I think that we are going back to, which you and I have talked about. We talked about this on Hog HQ Live. I think we're going potentially back to Cal running units, 5 in, 5 out, new 5, new 5. We've talked about this before. Cal has had guys drafted, top 3, top 10, whatever, from coming off the bench. And I think that was what this team is going to be. You finally got some bigs, which is what we have talked about, that he needs more than anything. I think that Cal is going back to his heyday, if you will, on basically running units and doing what it takes to get to the national championship.
Well, and they're going to have the most opportune time to do that when they go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
You talk about definitely. The guy and all the people that are reclassified will be playing there. So, we'll see. And these games are going to be televised. What's the streaming? How are you going to be able to watch the games, Adam, in the Bahamas?
So, I think as of right now, it'll be on YouTube for free and whatever. And ESPN is still working on potentially picking up some of the games, but it will be free to stream on YouTube.
So you're looking at with Caleb reclassifying, it was complete. So you got Jordan Smith Jr., Jeremiah Wilkerson, Davion Thompson as your guards, Billy Richmond, Abdou Toure, JJ Andrews as your wings, and then your bigs. You have Micah Cooper, Paolo Samito, Caleb, Ela Frolov, and Maper Maker.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm going to say this is Paolo Samito. I think that which Mika Mierden, we've seen all of his skill in his highlight reels, as well as dunks and whatever else. I think that Paolo Samito being here last year, and he was hurt for a little bit, but staying here, working through, getting stronger, et cetera, I think that he's going to be the big that we have been waiting for. I need. So.
When we went to the Kentucky game, he just looked very, very small, lanky. Because he's listed at 7'1", 225 as I'm looking at the roster right now. Now, I don't know if that is with him coming in, if that's the latest he is, I don't know. But I've heard a lot of things about Mika.
I think has the potential to be
they're saying he could be the best player on the team.
Mika has the potential, which I'm going to say this next season because of how I know that it works with these college athletes, or especially in basketball. Mika Mierden has the opportunity to be the number 1 draft pick next season.
But he's got to play with that over mentality in college. That we've seen a lot of this where they get timid. They don't. Of course, you're seeing the highlights and the oops and the dunks and all that. But and they're from all the tape we've seen, all the practices, they're going hard at each other. So how does that help? Now we'll get a glimpse of this. And again, take it for what it's worth. It's Bahamas. It's all it's exhibition stuff. But I'm telling you right now, if you're going to win a national championship, I think it's important you come out and go balls the ball. I think you come out with that 94, 95 mentality. I think you treat this Bahamas like it's March Madness or the SEC tournament or you're at Alabama. I think I go back to the 2019 LSU team that when Joe Burrow at the beginning of the year, they said, we're going to win a national championship. Mentality at the beginning, and they had some close games and they had some close calls, but they had that mentality, and you've seen what happened. They put together one of the greatest teams of all time. If Arkansas
go back to early 90s Arkansas, UNLV, Larry Johnson telling Coach Nolan Richardson, you got to get some men. If these guys will just take that to heart at this day and age with whatever else, like we've talked about putting our coaches, like having players take their foot off the gas, et cetera, et cetera. Let these guys just go run everybody out of the gym.
Absolutely.
Do not sit there and stop. What was the guy's
name? Remember the Oklahoma, Florida? Was that the OU Florida game where the dude he had the catch and he just launched himself and just blitzed the guy? I mean, he would have been kicked out and arrested if that happened.
I remember what you were talking about.
He did that to set the tone. You have so much depth now. I'm not saying go push somebody with 2 hands and throw them into freaking student section. But I'm saying if you can set a tone that we're going to be a physical team because we have depth down low, that has been your Achilles heel since Musselman's been here.
Yeah.
That is what's kept you out of Final Fours in national championship games, is that strength down low.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a 3-point shooter now.
What was it? The Redeem team or something on Netflix or whatever, but it was about the
Kobe when he ran through
the
Pau
Kobe one.
Gasol.
But yeah, I mean, him and Pau Gasol, like, hey, this is my teammate, this is my brother, but guess what? I'm about to run through his chest.
Yes.
To prove a point, and everybody's like, "No, you're going to do that," and he did it. And like that, and I think these guys need something like that just to basically say, like, "Hey, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run through you no matter
what." Do. I'm not saying do it in the Bahamas. I'm saying you come out in SEC play, and I mean, let me look at the schedule. Just see, they don't have it up yet, but I mean, the games you have on the schedule right now, you have November 17th, Indiana, Michigan, but that Michigan State game.
Yeah.
November 26th. That's a perfect game where let's set the tone. You got North Carolina December 1st and December. So you have 4 games on the schedule right now: Indiana, Michigan State, North Carolina, Arizona.
Yeah.
If you come out either one of those games, and Indiana, we know how that is. Those games where they played Illinois and Michigan, and they're just, it's hard to set that tone. It's just an off getting your bearings. But you have the depth now. Yeah. You come out and you set that tone, and you say, "Hey, look, we're here. We're a physical team." And then you tout that with what you get with Mika and JJ Andrews, Adu Toure. I'm telling you, if their talent and their effort match, this is going to be a very dangerous team.
Mm-hmm. And I think this will be something that they'll live up to being the number 1 recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're going to rival. Look, I know Kentucky fans, Big Blue Nation's probably going to hear this and they're going to love it, but this has the chance where Cal rivals what he had with that championship team. With an undefeated team. Yeah. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated, but I'm talking about the talent and the will and to come together and win with what Arkansas is putting together. If the talent matches the effort, you're going to be looking at one of the most successful teams at Arkansas.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. So we'll see what happens. We hope it pans out well, but I think we are in for a show this fall with winter basketball.
And we'll wrap things up, switching from college to the pros. LeBron James made his decision. I was very underwhelmed about this. I get sucked into the Twitterverse when it comes to this MJ LeBron debate, and I hate it. I allow myself to do it. I was underwhelmed by it. It came out of left field. I understand they have a good squad, but I don't think he's going there to chase rings. But
no,
he went there to try to win a championship, and that's the hypocritical statement of ring culture don't matter. They're using that whole argument of ring culture don't matter, but yet you say you're going there to get a ring. I don't know.
It's a good roster. It's a good squad. I look at how many games are you going to get out of Embiid? He's going to play half the season. He's going to be hurt like Anthony Davis was, whatever the case may be. It's a good squad. At the same time, there's only one GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So I
it's not
I
even
don't care that it's all no. So I just look at now like, hey, Philadelphia, like with the talent the Eagles have, even with the Phillies, and then with this roster, like Philadelphia has so many great players across all sports. It's going to be talked about. Like all the limelight's going to be on them. But guess what? You're not Michael Jordan. No. You're not probably going to win another ring. Guess what? The New York Knicks just won one. You're not going to. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. So, which I know he took, I think,
$43 million cut or something like that.
He's only making like $4 million, so they can pay. Which he's a billionaire. I mean, with all of his, other endeavors going on. But here's going to be a player that lives in New York or somewhere else, and flies in for practices and games and whatnot. Like there's
And
going to be a
management,
whole.
how many games is he actually going to play?
It's going to be a whole media circus, and we'll see what happens. But no, the Philadelphia 76ers are not going to. The closest they ever got was when I was there, them versus the Lakers, and
they got
the Lakers.
robbed.
Yeah, that's the closest. Yes, that's the closest the Sixers will ever get.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I just, it just sparks every year. We're talking about, well, he's 42 and he's here, he's going there. And if he wins a ring, what gets me about the LeBron fan base is they contradict themselves all the time. So they're sitting there saying, if he wins a ring in Philadelphia, that makes him the GOAT. So you're basically saying he's not yet, but if he wins in Philly, then the GOAT debate's shut down. I'm sorry, he lost it in 2011 when him and Wade mocked Dirk Nowitzki, and Dirk Nowitzki wiped the floor with them. They were up 2-1, could have went up 3-1, and Dirk come back and they won the series. So I don't care what you say about the Golden State beating the 73-9 team. Okay, cool. You beat them, but losing against a lesser team when you had the Heat, and everybody would say, well, he's never played for a super team. Whatever y'all have to say to help yourself sleep at night, that's fine. But the biggest argument the LeBron fans have against MJ is he didn't do anything before Pippen. Well, he didn't do anything at all. He was the Buffalo Bills before he went to Miami. You're praising him for getting to there. You're getting there. He got there. And then you want to look at, all right, what has he done in LA for 10 years without AD in the bubble ring?
Yeah.
So they're just squashes all their arguments, and then they want to throw longevity stats, and then they want to pick and choose when the ring culture can come in, or he's done this and done that. It's the fact that Michael Jordan had the mentality. He made stuff up to win. When he got in his prime, he's got more three-peats than LeBron James has back-to-backs.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And my thing comes down to, like, you and I have talked about this before, but you listen to Jordan or even Kobe or whoever else talk about who the GOAT is or who the best is or whatever. None of them will call themselves that.
No.
But then you have that one that will call himself.
Oh, yeah. He said it after he won the GOAT. That was then. He called himself the greatest.
And I just sit here and look at these other guys that came before him, and I'm like, they've never once called themselves that. They just showed you on the court or talked about how their work ethic or their practice or what they expected of their teammates, like we saw in The Last Dance. But you have these guys that, like the LeBron, and he's just like, no, I'm the greatest.
Well, it's funny when they had the 75, when they had the top 75. And when you have the top 75 stopping what they're doing because Jordan comes on the stage, nobody even noticed LeBron.
Yeah.
They stopped what they were doing when MJ come on. That is the GOAT. Joseph, sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, Joseph, I'm saying this because you and me are boys, and you're like, 12 to 15 years younger than I am, or whatever.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, you could have an argument for a LeBron or Kevin Durant, but we're going back a little bit further Kobe and MJ are the only two, I feel like, that you can basically compare or try to compare. But at the same time, nobody tops Michael Jordan.
No, because when LeBron was in his prime, how many rings did Steph Curry win?
Yeah. And all of LeBron's stats are from longevity. I'm not knocking his talent because it's off the charts.
Yes.
But when you play for 23 years or whatever it was, or whatever it is, you're going to have all those records. So sorry for you.
I mean, you could say he scored the most points, but at the end of the day, when you average 31 for your career, I don't care how many shots. I mean, and then they want to go, oh, well, he took the most shots. Well, who has the most shots taken now? Who has the most shots missed now? The same thing, again, that you try to knock Jordan for. You go look at the record books. There's LeBron James.
Well, and then you have some of the fans that will sit there and say, like, oh, he was playing against plumbers and he was playing against this, that, and the other. But what's funny, though, is then you sit there and watch a podcast or an interview with Kevin Garnett or any of these other former players, and they talk about Joe Klein being the strongest fool that they ever played against.
Yep.
And I say Joe Klein because all the Arkansas fans that we do have watching,
Yep.
all these retired NBA guys knew, like, I mean, Kevin Garnett's, I think he said his coming to the league moment was Joe Klein putting him on his back.
Yep.
But all these people want to talk about Jordan didn't play against anybody. Yeah. Like, are y'all serious?
It's funny. And the thing is, you know, Jordan got bounced by the milkman, whatever today. So let's talk about the talent in the NBA today.
So why has LeBron not won anything since the bubble?
Well, you talk about
if
talent,
we want to talk
let's
about
go miss 75 threes in a game. There's no, I mean, they're athletic, but there's no talent when you're just shooting. You're shooting threes. You're missing 75 threes in a game.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. I mean, then let's not even get into the freaking gather step, triple step, gather step.
I know you hate that.
I mean, it's like twinkle toes down there, and they're like, oh no, that's the zero step, then the gather step. I'm like, what do we do? I mean, we're making rules. It's like backyard baseball. We're making rules up as we go. And then they're like, they tell themselves enough that it's legal. Well, that's legal when you do a jump, stop, spin around because I'm like, whatever. It's so that's where we're at.
We change the narrative. We make up different things. Everybody can have their own GOAT, whatever the case may be. At the same time, number one, number two is Michael, Jeffrey, Joey, or Jordan, and Kobe being Bryant.
Yep.
I'm sorry, LeBron can be down on 5th on the list, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's nobody that tops Jordan or Bryant.
No, that's where we're at. Okay. Hog HQ live tonight? No? Yeah?
Not tonight. No.
Not tonight. Okay. So we're going to have Courtney Mims on Thursday. Be looking forward to that. On that, we are back on Sunday. So, I mean, we're back to where football is going to be here. So we're coming back on our Sunday, 6:05. Hog HQ live will be 8:05 when we're stacked up. So football's back. Hopefully we're talking about a good season this year. Next week, next Sunday night at 6:05, we'll start breaking down the offense. We'll start getting a better look at this team, what we're thinking, predictions and all that. So stay tuned for all that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you for all of our sponsors. For Adam Hall, I'm Porter Hayes. This has been a Hog Talk podcast, and we will catch you on Thursday.